Well, we still have plenty of summer left, but parents will soon enough find themselves in back-to-school mode, including tackling school lunches and snacks. And Andrea Holwegner is a registered dietitian with Health Stand Nutrition and joins us now with some help, some inspiration to start the year off right. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good morning. And I know people don't want to talk about this yet,
know.
But if we get into the zone of thinking about this, we'll be set for the fall.
Absolutely. And you have a blog post that I think is brilliant. It's titled 15 back-to-school snacks for kids and teens, and your key subtitle is that are dietitian approved and that kids will eat. And that's the balance,
That's
isn't
always
it?
the trick.
So what makes a snack healthy?
So what we're after in a healthy snack, for whether, it doesn't matter the age of your kiddos, whether they're teens like I've got at home, we want to get some carbohydrate and we want to marry it with protein.
Okay.
These are the key. So carbs we want for our brain.
Right.
We need to be able to think and focus and be energized throughout that school day, and even for parents, for our work day. These are good for parents too.
I know, I was eyeing these up and thinking, yes, 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 all of these. And
so our carbs come from our greens, our starchy foods, our fruits, veggies, or mostly our carb-based foods. And then that second component we want to marry with the carbs is protein. And protein, of course, is coming from hard-boiled eggs, cheese, Greek yogurt, skyr yogurts, meat, poultry, maybe seafood if you're really like living it up at your school day. Might be a little more adventuresome than our in our household.
Yes,
but
indeed.
that protein leads to that satisfaction factor, so that sustaining energy and blood sugar stabilization, which is really key. Otherwise, we get this roller coaster ride of energy throughout the day, which is not good for hangriness, anxiety, mood shifts,
Yes.
cranky kids, cranky parents, the whole bit. So we want to have both of those things.
And it sets you up for success. Part of the school year we know is that, you often have kids that are athletic and they have athletic activities. So what do you recommend that kids eat before they're taking part in an activity?
Yeah, and this is tricky because we got this window between right from school right to an activity. And so carbs are going to top up that blood sugars, top up that muscle glycogen or that energy for working muscles. And we want a little bit of protein, as long as it's not too much like running or something
Right.
like track and their explosive motions. Mostly a little bit of protein, again, is going to coast them through the end of that training session or that sport. Would probably not a good time to have, let's say, like super high fiber foods. Like it wouldn't be intuitive to have
Right.
a bran muffin at this time. Not good for the digestion. We'll save that for afterwards. And not a good time to have really high fat foods because they just take a little longer to digest. So we want to save those for after sports and keep it quick to digest with. Lots of carbs and a little bit of protein, not too much, because it takes a little longer to digest.
We know that, sometimes the hardest part can be finding those ideal snack ideas that kids will actually eat. And you have some suggestions laid out for us. And some of these are recipes that they can find on your website as
You
well.
bet.
So walk us through what's on the table.
Absolutely. So if we start over here, we've got I've got a great granola recipe on our blog. It's a high protein granola. You can try that one out with some Greek yogurt or skyr yogurt or cottage cheese here. You could put some fruit on there if you like, depending on what your kiddos like. This one here, we've got berries and energy balls, and I've got quite a few different variations of energy balls on our website, including a nut-free version for kids that need a nut-free version that is made with a split pea butter, which is of course good for school. And these work great for the freezer. So this is a time you get your kids all lined up in the kitchen and you get them like rolling out energy balls, and
Yes.
you put like 200 in the freezer so you're ready come September here.
Good thinking.
Of course, you could do your veggies and hummus. In this case, I did veggies and cheese. I love the bento box
Yes.
style things. They look visually pleasing to kids, which is always really exciting. This is one of our faves in our household, some sort of a fruit with what I call yo-nut butter. And
Okay.
yo-nut butter you can make with any kind of a nut butter. Sunflower seed butter, you could use the split pea butter again to make it nut-free, peanut butter, almond butter, and you mix that in with some Greek yogurt. And
I would
any
never
ratio
have thought
goes.
of that combination.
Any ratio goes because you need a dip that's like scoopable. So
Right.
yogurt is kind of like, but
Yeah.
when you put like a nut butter in, now it starts to get like really like rich and delicious and yummy. And it sticks better if you're
Right.
thinking about bananas and strawberries and pretzels. Celery works good, carrot sticks, really, really delicious. So try that one out. For those that like cottage cheese, and it's like kind of trending.
Right.
So like those
Right.
of you that are like turning your nose up, you could even put this in the food processor and blend it all if you don't like the look of it. Wonderful source of protein, any kind of fruit, fresh, frozen, all delicious. And you might wonder, I've got two different kinds of milks on here. One of them is what I call a vanilla milk, and you just take regular milk. You could do soy milk, any nut, dairy-free based milk. Put in, I'm going to say it, a pinch of sugar. It's allowed, people.
Yes.
A pinch, just like half a teaspoon even, and put a cap of vanilla in there, and it makes it just kind of, again, a different way of something fun for kids with a little bit of flavor. And in the jar, again, you can get all your jars lined up. Get the kids building like snack mixes, pretzels, nuts, seeds, dried fruit, whatever they like. Get them all out. Get them to build some jars, and you're ready to go. Muffins for the freezer, and this is an ultra filtered milk, so high protein.
Very good. Andrea,
Okay,
amazing.
I know.
Amazing suggestions. We'll get everyone to work and get ready for September. Andrea Holwegner is a registered dietitian with Health Stand Nutrition. To learn more or to check out that blog, you can see those links on your screen. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.